Hello, and welcome to Talking About podcast where we talk about anything and everything. Hello, today is Friday, December 5th, 2025, one of the last Fridays of this year. And I'll be honest, this is definitely not going to come out on this day. It'll probably come out sometime next week. Um, but yeah, I hope your week went pretty well. Mine went okay. I just want to talk about being childish when you're grown. And I feel like that's such a kind of like a hood thing to say, being like, oh, you're a child when you're grown, like, and it's like I'm not here to preach against having childlike tendencies when you're older, or embracing and having like a childhood when you're growing older. I'm here to talk about um very specific and very niche things. Um so yeah, let's just say fuck it and get into this, because this is kind of a heavy topic that I've been talking a lot with some friends about, because maybe I'm just jealous, or maybe I'm just a fucking idiot and I don't understand. But recently I've been talking with somebody that I work with, and I'm not gonna say which job or who or whatever, because anonymity is very important, and I believe that, like, if you're gonna talk about others, I don't think you should bring their name into it or anything. But Um, there's this person that I work with. We're gonna call him Jay. No, Jay doesn't really fit. We're gonna call. What should we call it? We're gonna call them Purple. Okay, their name is Purple. I say this as the dog's name is Indigo, and the dog is like right behind me, and we call her Indigo, or we call her Purple sometimes. So, um, Purple, I work with. I know how much Purple makes per hour, and I know Purple's schedule very well. And Purple, I feel so stupid. Um, they tend to spend their money in very dumb ways, and they live with their parents, and they are, I don't know, 6 years older than me, 6 or 7, maybe 8 years older than me. Like 6, 7. Oh, okay. Cancel me. Fuck it. But yeah. So this person is a little bit older than me. Some would say significantly older than me, but I don't really think it's that big of an age difference. But this person spends their money in a very niche way, in a very niche subject to spend their money in. Like I could spend all my money like doing something, like going hiking or something. That's not very niche, but very, very niche. Sorry, I have a dog hair in my mouth from Indigo. But I was talking with this person about just like responsibilities and everything, and I've moved 3,000 miles away from home at the ripe age of 18. um, and I found myself getting almost angry at this person for the way that they view their own lives. And they were like, well, I work 40 hours a week and I only make yada yada yada. And, like, not even bringing numbers into this, like, they make X amount, but then they spend Z amount on this niche thing and on frivolous things that don't matter, and they don't manage their money. And they sit there and complain that they don't make enough money, when in reality, yeah, the economy and the job market sucks right now, but in reality, like, if you stop spending your money on stupid things, like, then you'd be okay. And I don't know if that's just me being like super adultish or whatever, but like I just think it's so dumb that this person's complaining about their situation and saying it's unfair and everything, when they're putting themselves in the same situation. They're putting themselves in the situation that's very childlike. Like, this person, for example, cannot drive, right? And it's not from a disability, it's not from whatever. It's just a lack of getting their license. It's a lack of motivation and drive to go and make their lives easier. Instead, they spend 20, like 10, 20, $30 um, a day to and from work. Granted, they only work 4 days a week, but when you are spending $20 per se for 4 days a week, spending $20 times 8, it's $160 a week for you just to get to and from work, you know? And that's kind of wild. Just because you lack the motivation to go get a license when you're, 27 years old? I just find that kind of wild. And it's not because they don't have the money to go do it. It's because, like I said, they just lack the drive. And maybe it just frustrates me because I can't understand why you wouldn't have the drive to go and do something that's going to save you significant money at the end of the day. Excuse me, I'm yawning. Every time I record an episode, I always feel the overwhelming urge to yawn for some reason. I don't really know why. But continuing with what we're talking about, it just like frustrates me so badly because I'm like, what are you doing? You know, like you could go find another job that's gonna pay you significantly more. Like, and then they work a very lush job. Um, I mean, not like lush in the money aspect, but in the actual duties that they have to do. And then they complain that their job is hard. And I'm like, you are doing the bare minimum to be employed, honestly. Like you are doing the very bare minimum. Like Target Target workers do more work than you do. Like Walmart workers do more than you. Like why are you complaining when you have one of the best setups? You know, like why are you sitting here and complaining when you have one of the best lives to live and one of the best systems to work through? You know, like sorry. You live with your parents. You don't do anything. You work 4 days a week. Like why do you feel the need to complain? You know, like, and it just frustrates me so badly because it's like let me put it in this perspective because I don't think I'm describing it very well. Sorry, but I'm putting it in the perspective of I'm overweight. You could call me fat. I have a double chin. I'm honest with myself about it, and I'm trying to make it better. But I'm not sitting here and blaming Chick-fil-A for making me fat. I'm not sitting here and blaming chocolate for making me fat. I'm not sitting here and blaming Moose Track ice cream for making me fat. Like, and this is what this person is kind of doing. They're just kind of like blaming everything else for their problems when their problems are easily fixed. And I think that's one of the reasons why me and my roommate get into a lot of fights sometimes is she tends to freak out and talk about an issue so much and like stresses out about an issue. But when I offer advice or try to make a plan to help her out, she gets upset because she doesn't want her problem solved. She just wants to complain about it, which I can understand because there's times where I'm like, well, you know, fuck this thing and, you know, screw this thing, you know, and I'm like, I just want to rant about it for a second. But this person, this person named Purple, is like blaming their entire life and the entire way that their world revolves on them not having money, them not having a license, and them not being able to financially support themselves and stress out about money all the time. Like, it just like I said, like I'm not blaming Chick-fil-A for making me fat. It is my own hand that feeds my mouth, which makes me fat. It is your own doing that causes your issues, that makes you unhappy, sad, like broke. You know, like it is your own doing. And it's like, it just frustrates me because it's like, it's, you're genuinely like a child at that point, you know, like you're genuinely such a, I don't want to say like a little bitch, but like pretty much a little bitch because you refuse to get your license. You don't refuse, you're just too lazy and undriven to go get your license to help yourself out. Because in the long run, you're going to save significant amount of money. You know, like people are like, well, you have a car payment. They have a car. I can't say he, that's, I don't have, ugh, disregard me saying he because this person goes by they them, but um they have a car already set up for them. They have a car, They have insurance, they have a family insurance they can jump onto. They have all these solutions to their problems lined up. And it's the lack of drive, it's the lack of ambition. And it's just like they're so caught up in themselves being miserable and being upset and saying the world isn't fair that they don't get to see and sit and realize how lucky they are to have it how that is. Like, yes, I chose to move across the country at 18 with no money, with no job laid out. I chose that for myself. I chose to do that because I knew in my heart and in my head that I needed to leave and that in order for me to continue to grow as a person, I needed to leave. You know, granted, I could have gained the fucking 40, 50 pounds that I gained at home. Yeah, I could have done that. Or I could sit here and become a better person mentally and not physically. You know, if I had stayed home and I had stayed living with my parents and if I had no car payment and I just worked the bare minimum, I would probably be the same way, you know? But I'm here at 20 years old. I've been moved out of the house for nearly 2 years now and I have a car payment, I have rent to pay, I have utilities to pay, I have a phone bill, I have, Spotify, I have Hulu to pay. Um, and I sit here with all these bills and my credit cards, and I'm trying to better myself, not just financially, but I'm trying to better myself as a person. I came out here to experience a new culture. I came out here to learn new things and to better myself so I can understand people better. I moved to the South to understand things about people. Like, granted, I had no idea what the fuck I was stepping into the entire time that I was doing it. But now that I'm here, I am so thankful that I decided to make the jump and that I stopped choosing to be miserable every single fucking day of my life. High school me, dude, I hated myself so much. And I'm not saying that I don't still hate myself. I hate myself physically, but the way that my mind is able to grow and the way my mind is able to comprehend certain situations and understand things on a different level is so remarkable compared to if I was just still in Oregon and still didn't do anything with my life. And I think I get almost jealous of other people's ways of thinking because I'm like, man, I wish I still lived at home. And it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, like I'm jealous of them for still living at home. I'm eternally grateful for everything I have, for every blessing that I have, and every opportunity I have. But I also don't think I'm a better person because of that. I don't think I'm better because I moved far away from home. But when I sit here and you complain to me about being miserable, when you are feeding yourself the misery that you are feeling, why should I have empathy for you? Why should I sit here and be like, oh no, it's gonna be okay? No, I should sit here and look you in your eyes and tell you to get your fucking license and to better yourself financially, to apply for a credit card, to help yourself out, to divide your paycheck into two different accounts so you can't even touch one of them so you can actually build a fucking savings so you can move out of your parents' fucking apartment. Like, I just don't understand how people don't have drive and ambition. It just kills me because I sit here and I'm like, am I really that self-driven, or do I just not like being comfortable? Like, it just fucking kills me because I feel like you're a fucking child. Like, you are 27 years old, like, and you've accomplished nothing really. Like, I haven't accomplished anything. Like, I haven't accomplished anything in my career or money wise or anything. Like, I've bought myself a car. I still owe 9K on it, but I bought myself a car, you know? And it just like, I just don't know how people do it, Like, I'm just like sitting here and I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? And then on the other hand, there's another person that I work with. We'll call them Red. Red terrifies me. Red is very, very respectable. Red has, you know, has educated themselves. They are looking for new job opportunities. They just recently bought themselves a car outright, you know, and they're trying to create this life for themselves and trying to set themselves up for success while fucking purple over here sits here and twiddles their thumbs and wonders why their thumbs hurt. You know, like, red is so terrifying because I can see myself in red and I can see the way that red is going. And I look at the red in awe, in terrified awe, because I am so terrified of what they're going to accomplish. Because I know that they're going to go out there and I know they're going to accomplish so fucking much and they're going to sit there and do so good at it. Like, I know that they're going to have success. And I'm, terrified to be able to I'm terrified to compare myself to them. And I'm terrified to almost like lose to them. And something that I've recently realized is that, like, I'm never going to be the best in any room. And never would I want to be the best in any room. Because in order for me to learn and for me to adapt to new things, new careers, a new lifestyle, I have to find the best person in the room and not compare myself or try to make it a competition. I should be trying to catch up with them and keep up with them. If somebody can run at a 6 mile pace and I'm running at a 10 mile pace, I should be able to look at them, see them, get on the treadmill right next to them, and try to keep up. And that's the only way that I'm ever going to get better, is because I'm going to be right next to them, constantly seeing that, and it will slowly digress onto me. I will slowly get better because I am observing. I'm looking. I'm like, oh, you have longer steps than me. Let me lengthen my stride. Let me get better at this. Oh, you're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Well, let me try doing that. Let me keep up with you. And eventually, I'll keep up. And eventually, I'll be better. But when I cross that threshold of being better, I should be going to a new room. In that new room, there should be somebody better than me running a 3 mile pace. I will sit my ass right next to them on that treadmill and lengthen my stride again. I will breathe the way they do. I will look at them and I'll copy them because I am trying to keep up. I will be sprinting while they're jogging, but my sprint will slowly slow into that jog and I will become that better. I will become just like them and then I'll move into the next room, so forth and so forth. I don't really know where I was going with that, but I felt kind of powerful saying it, not gonna lie. But I just don't understand how people can be ambitionless and powerless in their own lives. You are in charge of your own life, and that's something I've came to realize. I am in charge of my own sadness. I am in charge of my own happiness. I sit here most of the days and I look at my relationship that I used to have and I'm like, damn, what the fuck was wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with me? Why do I choose to feel so much pity and misery over this one aspect of my life when I'm fucking alive? When I'm allowed and able to have these other relationships and I'm allowed to have these other connections and I'm allowed to do all these things and I have the ability to walk and run and do all these things, and I'm like, why do I sit here and make myself miserable? Why do I sit here and stuff my face with food? When I could be fit, I could have a fucking six-pack if I wanted, like, that's another thing about Red, dude. They have a motherfucking six-pack. You know how fucking jealous I am? But that means I need to stop drinking fucking lemonade from Chick-fil-A, dude. God, I love Chick-fil-A. Ever since moving to the South, I've been a Chick-fil-A fiend. I just had Chick-fil-A for lunch. I say lunch, but it was like 3 o'clock when I ate it because I got off work early. But, it's just like, I guess if anything, if there's going to be any point to this episode, this is more of a rant because I felt the need to get it off my chest. But if you're going to take any point away from this episode, if anybody actually fucking listens, or if future me is listening, take away the fact that your hand is what feeds you. Your hand, your thoughts, the way you think, the way you go about your life, you are feeding yourself. You are feeding yourself the misery you feel. You are feeding yourself the sadness you feel, the anger, the frustration, the annoyance, the everything. Whatever you feed yourself is how you are going to feel. If I feed myself shit food, I'm going to feel like shit. If I feed myself super good food that makes me happy and satisfied with my life, I'm going to feel happy and satisfied. If I sit here and dwell on certain things, I'm gonna be a dweller. Like if I'm gonna sit here and complain about the fact that I don't have my license, yet spend $20 a day one way to get to work, you're gonna feed yourself financial instability, and you're gonna feed yourself codependence on your parents and other people because you can't have the drive or the power to go and do things for yourself. At that point, you're a fucking child. Like it just kills me. Anyways, your hand is what feeds you. You are in charge of your own life. You are in charge of how your life goes and how you feel about your life and how everything is. I sit here and I'm miserable. I'm tired. I'm sad and all these things. But I sit here and I own that. I own feeling all those things because I make myself feel those things. Because I am in charge of myself. Because I am who I am because I'm capable of other things. And I allow myself to reach for those capabilities instead of slapping my own hand away from the cookie jar. Even though I should sometimes. Anyways, yeah, this is a quick little rant. I just got really tired really quickly. I don't know why. I think because the heating's on, so I'm like getting all warm and snuggly in my chair. But yeah, I just needed to say that really quickly because now I have to work on a spreadsheet for spoilage for work. But I needed to talk, and what better way is there to talk? So thank you for listening, of course. Follow back next time. We are nearly done with this year, so I believe season 4 will be starting soon. And I know I said this last year, but I do plan on, uploading a little bit more often. There's been a 6-month period where I didn't upload at all this year, which completely my fault. But now that I'm kind of settled, I think I might be okay. So, yeah. All right. Anyways, thank you for listening to today's podcast. This will, like I said, this will probably be coming out a little bit later than December 5th because, yeah, I have an episode. Oh, sorry. I have an episode scheduled for, I think, tomorrow, actually. So, but yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening, and I hope to catch you in the next one.